Welcome to the Weekend Warmup. I'm Province Sports Editor Jonathan McDonald.
I'm News Editor Paul Chapman.
Every Friday we take a look at the weekend, the best sporting events, and we offer our recommendations. Usually, Paul makes fun of most of my picks. 57%, in fact. I've done a forensic investigation. Shall we begin?
How'd you do in your terrier pool anyway?
Not very well. Pick number one of the weekend, Giants-Bruins, Vancouver Giants, Chilliwack Bruins. They're playing a pair of games.
You're a huge Chilliwack Bruins fan, I know that for a fact.
Yes.
You're going to be there clapping away.
Yes, I love the Chilliwack Bruins. The reason I'm mentioning this, the two teams are embroiled in the BC division race in the WHL.
They're embroiled, exactly. Yeah.
Yes, they're embroiled, Paul.
Yeah.
Will you let me finish?
Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. The reason I mention this is because Friday night the Giants are honoring Milan Lucic with bobblehead night, and he's got a pretty big noggin. But Lucic, of course, is a great story, a guy who basically was out of hockey as a teenager, became Memorial Cup MVP, and is now a bona fide NHL star of the Boston Bruins, and he's only 22 years old. He seems like he's been around a long, long time, but he's only 22.
Yeah.
So that's Friday night at the Coliseum.
And he's embroiled in a good playoff run with the Bruins coming up, so that's great. Yeah, no, that's going to be an event. It's nice to see Lucic have this position where he can come back, spend a few days in Vancouver. I think there's going to be a lot of hype about that Giants game. Honestly, this is a dreadful weekend in sports. There wasn't a lot there for me to pick, but it is one of my favorite sort of sideshow weekends of the year because the NFL draft the NFL draft combine is on all weekend on the NFL Network. Now, this is a bunch of college guys who sit around in their workout gear and go through, the bench press reps and 40-yard dash and all the agility drills, and the quarterbacks have their throwing drills. And it's really the epitome of junk sports to just sit around and watch guys do very little. But it's really compelling. The NFL does it really well, and they have their panels of experts there, and they talk about who's moving up because of the workouts, and it is pretty impressive to see what some of these guys can do, especially when they do the lineman drills. So it's a real guilty pleasure to watch the scouting combine from Indianapolis for me.
Remember how much we used to enjoy World's Strongest Man?
Magnus von Magnuson, yes.
Yeah, it's a little bit like that.
Yeah, I just bought a car from a guy called Magnuson.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you a college hoops fan?
No.
Not at all?
I used to be. Not
Used
so
to
much
be.
anymore. Yeah.
Okay. Two teams then, probably in the old days, you and I would have never followed, BYU and San Diego State. Playing this week.
Football, yeah, but not hoops.
They're both top 10 right now in the NCAAs. And the reason this is a big game is it's the only nationally televised game involving BYU's Jimmer Fredette. Mm-hmm. Ever heard of him?
No.
Jimmer Fredette. Great basketball name.
Yeah.
He's also going to lead the nation in scoring. He is probably going to be the player of the year. And he's not the guy you would predict when you look at him. He doesn't look like a basketball star. Yeah. But this is a huge game. This is a big deal for BYU. So fun game on Saturday.
And they're embroiled in the race to March Madness.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for me, the only other thing that intrigues me this weekend is on Sunday. The Blackhawks are playing the Coyotes, and I think the Blackhawks are going to end up playing the Canucks in the first round of the playoffs. That is going to be the most nerve-inducing series, I think, for Canuck fans. And you're starting to see Chicago play a lot better. And the Coyotes faltering a little bit. They got blown out earlier this week against Tampa Bay. The Blackhawks are a team that they give the Canucks a ton of matchup problems, as we know. And I think Canuck fans should have one eye on them going into the playoffs.
All right, you can give me one more pick?
No, that's it for me. That's all I'm watching this
weekend. Can I have one more pick?
Yeah.
What about the Carling Cup final? I know you're going to make fun of that.
Yes, Carling Cup final, Birmingham and
Arsenal.
I'm just no, I'm not watching it.
You're not watching it?
No.
Okay. Wembley Stadium, right?
Yeah, it's
the National Soccer Stadium?
Yeah.
I think it's kind of a big deal.
Not really.
No?
But yeah.
But I mean, Arsenal is still in the race for all the Premier League, Champions League, FA Cup.
They'll play their reserves and still beat Birmingham, which it's a secondary cup competition. It's not worth getting up for.
Yeah, but
not for me anyway. You feel free to go ahead.
Yeah. Is there any dog show stuff this weekend?
No, the dog show's over.
That's too bad.